Hey everyone, Kansas City's two favorite things are football and trucks. For trucks, my advice is always go to Roberts Robinson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Excelsior Springs. Go online to robertsrobinson.com or check out their Facebook page. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson, Corey Anderson, and Beards, presented by Google Fiber. We head up until 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock, Sports or Leisure. That is presented by Johnny's Tavern. So looking forward to giving away $25 to Johnny's Tavern. We appreciate Harold Stice, who brought in some fantastic barbecue here to the station. And I also appreciate the Chiefs having a press conference right at the point of lunchtime so that I can enjoy some tasty Harold Stice barbecue and also listen to the press conferences at the same time. Without
you know why you liked that brisket flavor so much?
Why?
It was corned beef.
That was amazing.
That's what gave it the different flavor.
Yeah.
Because it was corned beef.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was excellent.
It was
the
really,
ribs
really good.
Fall off the bone. Good stuff.
Yep, no
Thanks
doubt.
to Harold Stice.
I just wanted one rib. Well, I sure am hungry. 913-912-4810, First Mortgage Direct text line. The one thing about, USC and Eric Bieniemy with that, what won't match up with the Trojans and Bieniemy as head coach is the timeline. Like, USC is going to want to coach in December. Is Bieniemy going to leave the Chiefs in December to go be the head coach at USC?
Why not?
Well, because he is where his feet are.
I understand
He's
that.
only getting ready for the next week, and that's his focus is preparing for the next week. I do believe Eric Bieniemy in that if USC said we need a decision in December, he would say, no, thank you. I'm with the Chiefs, and we're trying to win a Super Bowl. If they said we'll wait till February, then I think he would certainly be interested in the job.
And this is a guy who's been passed over for head coaching jobs, 11 times, 12 times? Like, he's interviewed a lot.
Right.
And been told no a lot. If USC were interested in him and he could go and he thinks USC is a blue blood program, which is the only way I think he would leave the Chiefs and leave the opportunity of being an NFL head coach, is for what he considers a blue blood. If USC is that to him, I think he might be like, you know what, Andy, I hate to do this to you, but I've got to take this opportunity. I can't turn it down. Hell, he might leave next week for it.
No,
if they offered it to him, and it was the job he wanted.
I could be dead wrong on this, and he might be out the door in 2 weeks. I just don't see, if USC were to say, you're our guy, but we need you right now, that he would say, okay, cool, peace out, Chiefs, I'm gone, and I'm going to go take the USC job. I think it would be one of those to where he would say, I need to wait till February, and then USC might move on at that point.
You don't think it's one of the ones where he, interviews for the job, gets the job now, and then USC goes, sure, we'll wait till the end of this the football season.
Yeah, he could.
Not necessarily leave now, but he's got the job secured, and then he can wait until the end of the Chiefs season.
The problem is, though, USC would want somebody by December because you got to be recruiting. So you got that first signing day in December, and then it's in February.
Well, I think if you're USC, you say, what's your commitment level to our program? We're not Colorado. If you want the job as the USC head football coach, you take the job now. It is your priority, not the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's fine. Now, putting all this out there, this is all just sports radio talk, because I don't think USC is going to want Eric Bieniemy. I don't think it makes sense for them to bring in Eric Bieniemy. But if this is a job that he values to the point where he would take this job and leave the NFL, then I think he takes this job whenever it's offered, because he's been told no so many times. And if they say, look, we need you to be all in on this, you're the face of our program now, I think he walks away from the Chiefs and knows that, yes, he is the offensive coordinator, and yes, he's part of what they do, but Andy Reid calls most of the plays. He has input in it, putting the game plans together. It's not as though he would be leaving the Chiefs without an offensive coordinator, without a play caller. I think it would be different if Andy Reid were the defensive coach and he and Spags had their hands all over the defense and Eric Bieniemy was the offensive mastermind. Then I think that that's a conversation to have. But I think that if this job is one he ranks high enough to where he would leave the NFL and take his name out of the running for NFL jobs, then I think he takes it whenever it's offered.
I'll say, look, I wouldn't blame him or feel like he was quitting on the Chiefs if he took the job. I just don't see it happening. Even if USC says you're our guy, but we need you right now. Like Kansas with Jim Harbaugh. You're our guy, but we need you right now. Well, I'd like to coach the bowl game. Oh, sorry, we're going to move on then.
Jim Harbaugh hadn't been turned down for 10 or 11 jobs over the last 2 years.
I don't disagree.
And that's my point, is that Eric
But
Bieniemy can't assume he's going to get a job because everybody said he'd get one this last year, and everybody said he'd get one the year before. So to automatically assume that he's going to get one this coming year, and if he's got a chance where if USC is that kind of job to him, then I think you have to take your future into your own hands at that point and say, yeah, I'm the new face of Southern Cal football.
Well, and I would say that, from what people say about Eric Bieniemy, that I don't know that he would then take that job if it means that he has to leave midseason.
Maybe not.
From the Chiefs.
But I think he would.
He could also go back to USC and say, if you think I'm the best guy for the job, one recruiting cycle shouldn't be the difference in hiring me or not. I can have staff that can go out there and recruit, and they know that I'm the head coach, that I'm taking over USC once the season is over. But I'm not going to be on the recruiting trail and coaching while the season is going on. If I'm the best guy for the job, then I'll be the best guy for the job starting in February, even if I started in December.
And then they come back at you and say your priority should be USC football.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly want to do this,
right.
We are not an also-ran. We're not a run-of-the-mill program. We are trying to put ourselves back on top, and that needs to start today. Are you in or are you not?
And he can then respond and go, wouldn't you want that same commitment to your program if I was the head coach there that I'm going to give the Chiefs?
They can each keep saying things back and forth.
No, I say this. No, you say this. They need a mediator.
Now, having said that, I want a guy who can build up a college program and who's proven it because they've missed on hires over the last decade plus.
Yeah, if you're going to go to the NFL and grab a coach, you go get Urban Meyer. I mean, he's going to be open for business.
Or Matt Rule. Go get somebody who you trust can do it at that level. Eric Bieniemy would be a big gamble. Not saying he can't do it, but I don't think USC is in the gambling mode right now. They need somebody proven, and they've got the pedigree and the type of program that should be able to land them the top target out there, and I don't think Eric Bieniemy is the top college football target out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come down to USC saying you're the guy, we want to hire you the job, you need to leave the Chiefs in December. Yeah, I don't think it gets that far. But I also, when Eric Bieniemy says, I am where my feet are, I'm focused on the task, if they reached out, I would tell them my answer is I'm preparing for the Ravens or I'm preparing for whoever the next team is. It's easy to say at the podium because my agent can talk to them. Like, I'm right here, right now.
And I can talk to them, plus I can tell you anything I want to tell you at the podium.
Also, I don't have the job, so of course I'm focusing on the Ravens. I'm going to be focusing on the Chargers and whoever else after that. Like, that's going to be the focus each week because I'm not coaching USC. They're still looking for a coach, and that's not going to be decided in the next 2 weeks. And that's, something that they're going to have to figure out over the course of the season. So we talked about that and some other things as well. There is news out of Baltimore, though, with some more injuries.
They're having a rough go.
Yeah, it is out of a Hollywood script, or lack thereof, maybe a horror script for what Ravens and Ravens fans thought they were going to be this year of all the injuries. So we told you about earlier in the show that Ronnie Stanley is more than likely going to miss this game and far longer. Jason Lockenfora is saying that's the case. Villanueva is moving to left tackle. So that's going to leave a hole at right. I'm joking. The hole is going to be vacated. There was already a hole over there. It's just going to create a hole at left tackle. Regardless, all jokes aside, Ronnie Stanley doesn't look like he's going to play this weekend. Villanueva sliding over to the left side. They're bringing in somebody that I don't know who it is that's going to play right tackle.
That guy.
Yes. Chris Westry, who is their fourth cornerback on the team, but because Jimmy Smith didn't play against the Raiders because he was injured, he then became their third. Chris Westry is like Rashad Fenton.
Oh, and don't forget Marcus Peters, too.
Yeah, Marcus Peters, right. So Westry is, not even Rashad Fenton. One step down, but if you start to lose it, yes. But as the season started without Marcus Peters, Westry is the fourth cornerback in line. There are two outside cornerbacks, Jimmy Smith, Humphrey. Then you've got, who am I forgetting? That's there with the Ravens. He played in Jimmy Smith's spot. Doesn't matter. He's there, and then Westry right after that is there. So Averett, Anthony Averett, who
the pink hair,
yes, who played against the Raiders.
Yep,
and then Westry. Westry's now lost for how long?
At least this week.
Yeah.
Torn meniscus.
Torn meniscus for Chris Westry.
So he played 33 snaps against the Raiders. He's gone.
Right. So if Jimmy Smith does not play this weekend, who is limited in practice with an ankle, it would be no Marcus Peters, no Jimmy Smith, and no Chris Westry, which would be 3 of their top 5 corners that would not play.
And even if Jimmy Smith plays, he was held out this past week, so he's not 100%.
Right. And he's still limited in practice. An ankle,
yeah, limited in practice. If he plays, you're talking about a not 100% guy, in addition to losing your best, well, not your best guy, Marlon Humphrey's your best, but Marcus Peters and a hobbled Jimmy Smith, along with Marlon Humphrey. Now Westry's out as well. No left tackle. Your right tackle was the worst offensive lineman in football last week, and now he moves over to left tackle, and a guy who couldn't even beat him out is going to be playing at right tackle. Oh, and by the way, your number 1 draft pick wide receiver, he's not playing, and your top 2 running back, top 3, I guess, if you want to count Justice Hill.
I think Justice Hill will be.
Top 3 running backs are all out as well, and you're elevating Devontae Freeman from the practice squad. Like, oh, my goodness.
Should also point out that Marlon Humphrey is dealing with a back and was limited at practice, too. So he's not 100%
and
Marquise
Brown not practicing today.
And Hollywood Brown did not practice today as well. who did not practice yesterday.
Yep.
Today to me was the more interesting one for the injury report for the Ravens, because yesterday was just a walkthrough. So it's like, all right, didn't practice, didn't matter, it was a walkthrough. Today's an actual practice for the Ravens to get ready for the Chiefs. Whether it's install or going up against scout, it's an actual practice. So now Hollywood Brown didn't practice yesterday, which was sort of just a walkthrough, no pads, and is not practicing today as well. That would be, well, with Bateman and Brown, 2 of their top 3 receivers would be out.
And Boykin is out on the IR as well.
So 3 of their top 4 receivers would be out this weekend.
You just have Sammy,
if Hollywood Brown,
you know he's going to get hurt.
Isn't that odd? That wide receiver room, the only one healthy is Sammy's,
the only healthy guy.
Sammy's like, this is ridiculous. Everybody's getting healthy. Everybody's getting injured.
What the hell's happening here?
What is going on, man? It's absurd with all these injured people.
You guys are telling me I can't go get hurt because everybody's relying on me now?
Oh, no.
What? That ain't right.
And we haven't seen Le'Veon Bell hasn't been activated, right?
Not
from
yet.
The practice squad. It's just been Devontae Freeman.
But they could lose a running back in practice today.
Yeah. Well, that means Le'Veon Bell also will not play for Harbaugh either. Not going to play for Reed. Yeah, got news for you. You're also not playing for Harbaugh right now because a guy they signed after you has been activated before you.
We're chuckling about it, and it's good for the Chiefs to go in and probably get a pretty comfortable win. But this feels a lot like the 49ers last year, the Chargers, when they've had some really bad injuries, where you feel like you've got a pretty damn good team, and you feel like you could make some noise, and everybody just gets hurt. And it's like, what the hell, just one after another after another.
It's been, 3 weeks now? So when Dobbins went down? So, I couldn't even, unless I had it all written down, I couldn't go through the injuries right now. From 3 weeks ago to now, I would miss somebody or two along the way.
Who was the guard?
Tyre Phillips.
Yeah.
Who's on the IR.
Yeah.
He was, and he would be playing right tackle this week for Villanova, or they might have slid him to left tackle. I don't know.
Who knows?
He would be playing one of the tackle spots this week.
But
he is not. It's crazy. Sammy Watkins is playing, though. Let's hear from Sammy Watkins weighing in on the Chiefs. And this is, about being asked what the Chiefs do? Here's Sammy Watkins.
I'm trying to win at the end of the day. So snitch and no snitch, anything I can give wink in the defense, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not particularly giving up plays, but, hey, man, do this on this guy and do this on that guy. And that's just the way of football. Guys go on different teams every week, every day. You pull a guy off practice squad to try to pick their brain. So, I'm going to try to do anything to win.
Snitch or no snitch. Take that, Orlando Brown. Snitches get stitches. He's not a snitch. Orlando Brown says he's not a snitch.
Well, did you hear the way Spags answered it today? He kind of chuckled. We kind of talked about it coming off the field. The thing is, if Spags has a question, he can go and Orlando Brown will answer it. But it's not, like he said, we're not sitting down and getting out an iPad and breaking it down. So,
we were walking off training camp off the practice field and asked them about it.
And like Spags said, you've played this team 3 years in a row now.
That's the point,
You know what they do. And he said, I don't care who the players are. We are out there practicing against scheme. what they're going to do. It's not about what individual players are doing, because guess what? Number 8 is still back there. It's still Lamar Jackson, and they're still going to run their offense, so you're practicing against a scheme, not necessarily particular players that you might think you're facing.
Sammy, what should we do against the Chiefs? What are we doing wrong? Don't blitz? Well, that's not an option. What else? Is there anything else we could try to do this weekend against the Chiefs that may work? We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, wrap up this hour next.
The Zone with Jason Anderson.
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe. I'll take that, dude.
All right, so we got Sports or Leisure coming up next, 913-381-810, presented by Johnny's Tavern. Wink Martindale at his press conference said, quote, let's face it, 10-87 is who we have to stop. Then the others, you just got to hold on to. If they make a play, then so be it. I mean, I get that, understandable, but hey, I remember Monday night when, with the Raiders, it's like, hey, don't you feel like you just have to stop 83? And yet he was running free all night. So I don't know, maybe it's not as easy as just, well, if we stop 83, we'll figure it out after that. Well, we just got to worry about 10-87. Yeah, you couldn't deal with 83.
And 15.
Yeah, 15's tough too. But, I mean, he's right. Just stop 10-87. It's all good, man.
Simple as that.
No big deal. 913-381-810, Sports or Leisure. That's next.